You opened an Etsy store and you, like me, expected that you would start seeing sales right away. You did all the right things. You had all the right tags and the descriptions were top notch. You had great titles. Everything looked good and cricket. I get you. I've been there. And here's the thing. Etsy can a really great place to start with a great marketplace. And, I love Etsy. Etsy has made a lot of people a lot of money, but it is a marketplace and you have to stand out. So if you want to start making sales from Etsy, the best way to do that is to start making sales, which makes it a little bit difficult. So you're going to need to start driving traffic to your Etsy store. And what better way to do that than Pinterest? Because Pinterest and Etsy, they go together like peas and carrots. Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm a Pinterest marketing strategist, and I'm here to help you create a Pinterest marketing strategy for your Etsy store so that you can start making some money on the platform and stop getting lost in the sea of all things Etsy. So, first thing, why Pinterest and not all the other socials? Well, first of all, I'm not telling you to go off your other socials. Definitely stay on there. But Pinterest is the perfect place for you to add your Etsy products to because they actually allow you to put a link in so people can go directly from that pin right to your Etsy store. And I'm sorry, but I don't think Facebook, Instagram, TikTok really like it when you leave the platform. Pinterest, however, was built for that purpose. Now, recently, I've had a lot of people reach out, post questions in groups, asking me how to get their products on Pinterest where they're not just putting in hours and hours of time. Because look, I get it. You are creating your products, whether they're digital or physical. You have to either take photographs of the product or you have to create mock-ups. You have to do the listings and then you got to get them on your Etsy store along with creating pins and having all of that go onto Pinterest. It just seems like a lot. I get it. So I want to show you how to build a strategy that isn't going to be a whole lot more work for you, but will have really great results. We're going to get your products on Pinterest the easiest way possible so that you don't have to feel overwhelmed by the platform. I'm going to do this by showing you how not to get caught up in Pinterest spam filter, because a lot of times what people will do is just use the pinning function directly from Etsy and go pin their whole catalog. And let me tell you, that is the fastest way to get your account shut down. And I don't want that to happen to you. So I'm going to show you how to do it so that that does not happen. And lastly, you want to make sure you stay for this because I'm going to show you how to make sure your pins are actually getting found on Pinterest so people can click through and buy your products. Now, what better way to teach you than walk you through it myself? So let's get over to the screen share and I will walk you through exactly what I'm talking about. The first thing I want to show you is how to get your products on Pinterest, because if you're like me, you have a ton of products. I think I have like 400 different listings on Etsy right now. So you need to get your products on Pinterest, and there has to be a good system to be able to do that. So the first thing I would recommend, if you haven't already, is getting a product list together. Now, this is probably the most overwhelming part of the whole process. I would say, do as many as you can right now and just slowly add to the list. But put your product here, your URL here. And this is just a regular Google Sheet. I actually have an e-commerce pin plan that I will link down below for purchase in my shop. If you're interested in getting that, it'll also walk you through exactly how to use it. But if you don't want to do that, you can create your own system and it's not really that hard. So go ahead and get your product here, your URL. And I like to also just track if I have pinned from my shop. And these are going to be the shop direct pins. Now, you can actually just make this a checkbox. You just insert here, checkbox, and then you're going to copy. Then you can just drag it all the way down as far as you need and paste it in. And that way you can track if you have actually made a pin from your Etsy shop directly to Pinterest. That way you'll know you're not repeating that same pin multiple times. Not that it's terrible to do that. You can, but you don't want to do it multiple times in a row when you're trying to get your entire catalog on Pinterest. That is the first place I would start. The next place I would go is to the pin plan. So what I'd like you to do is take products from this list So as you can see, I have all of my products here and my URL. And if you'd like to use UTM codes, you can use those here. You can track those here. I like to keep track of the first date I posted a pin just to kind of have an idea on when I should redo the pinning. I also like to have any target keywords that I'm going after. And then I always link my Canva file here with my pins that I've created. And then initial pin made, and you can also track your shot pin here. So if you'd like to put it on the pin plan page, that's fine too. Whatever you'd like to do. That's kind of how it looks when you have it filled out. And then when you're looking at your pin plan, you can see it's a lot more clearly. I have started and not continued pinning as I should be. So I'm a little behind in this store. We'll get there. It happens to everybody. Get overwhelmed. So just do what you can do. But let's get back to the pin plan. You're going to go ahead and add your products that you're going to promote. And I would do maybe 30. I mean, if that's too many, that's one a day that you're going to pin and your URL here and then the date you're planning on pinning it. So if you're going to start like today, time of this filming, it's the end of August. Say I wanted to start at the beginning of September. I'm going to go ahead and start with September 1 and go all the way down to September 30th. And then you can plan your title. You don't really need to plan it. What you can do is just pull your title in from your Etsy listing. And I would probably just start with like the most searchable keyword, the one that describes what you have the best. So groovy Halloween invitation. And caveat, you should always, always, always use your share and save link. Don't give Etsy any more money than you have to, okay? Let's see. Not that against them making money, but they make plenty. Let's keep more of our money. Don't want you creating a big description just for Pinterest because let me tell you, they're just going to override it anyway with your Etsy description. So there's no need for you to go into all of that time and just spend all that time doing it when there's really no reason for you to do it. I will just take the first 500-ish characters here and pop them into my description. And that is my description. And then you just keep going through here. And then once you have all of that planned out, and if you want to just get started, you can do like the first 10 days planned out and then do your images. Okay. So you're going to have the actual product that you're promoting, the URL, the date you're going to pin it, your title and your description here. And I link the Canva file right here. So when I am ready to go ahead and start scheduling, I have everything I need in my pin plan to do so. So speaking of Canva and your Canva files, what I recommend when you are creating standalone pins for your products is to create templates. Now, here's a template for some digital products. The great thing about this is I can just take my photos and slide them right in, do some tweaking, add my title, my subheading, and this is our call to action here. Add the website, boom, it's done. It does not take a ton of time. You can just add your digital products in here. It's the same process for physical products. You're just going to create yourself some templates or buy some templates. There's templates for sale in my shop or on Etsy. You can find plenty of templates, create your own, whatever. And once you have those, then you can just drag and drop your images, switch a couple things up, and you have a pin. And that way you're not spending 20, 30 minutes a pin, which is just way too much time when you're trying to get your products on Pinterest. So take the time to create the pin templates, create the product catalog so that it just streamlines everything down the line. Another option when you have a product-based business, whether it is physical or print or digital products, you want to show the product in action. So either a mock-up or a photo of it being used. Photos work really well, and sometimes you don't even need a ton of text overlays. So like for this one, this photo tells what it is. I don't have to actually tell them what it is with text on the photo. It just looks nice like this. Same thing here. So this is a really simple way to get your products on Pinterest. This is more of a grid where I'm showing kind of the steps on how it works. These are not always my favorite pins I've done, but they work. They show the product, they show the process, and gives you the story, the idea on how to use these Pinterest templates. Because oftentimes with products, the start of the show on your pin is your actual product, whether it's physical or digital. So if you have t-shirts or candles, you want to show them in action, okay? So let's take a look over here on Pinterest, and we searched up candles. So as you can see, this candle is burning. It's a photo of it in action, and it makes you want to kind of click on it. Same thing here. So you're going through and you're seeing all of these pins and how they are displayed. If you are in the candle industry, I would take a look at this and say, okay, well, I see they have a lot of photos of candles burning in life. We've got some, different setups here. And now one of the nice things that Pinterest does is it shows you which pins are the popular ones, which actually, surprisingly enough, we always assume the candle that's the first one on the scroll, right, is going to be the most popular. And look, it's got a couple with 0 pins and 0 likes on here. So they are pushing different things. Now, these are sponsored, which is why. But when you're looking at these, you can kind of tell what formats do the best. Like this one is pretty good. It was only posted 16 days ago and it's already got some saves. So I would say this is a really good pin. So take a look at these pins and see what they're doing right. And is there something you can do to make your pin stand out from these? If you are looking at the same thing here, they're very simple pins. They're just the photographs, and then they have the title and description. So don't waste your time with things that you don't need to. Let's streamline everything. You're busy enough. You don't have to continue to do that. Let's look at, let's say, tops for women. We'll get a different look for different products here. You can see it just shows the product on someone. It's lifestyle. It's just showing them wearing it. Don't overthink it. You don't have to do a crazy pin for your designs. You just need to show them in action and how they're working, whether that's a mock-up or a PSD, like a PSD mock-up or a mock-up that you're creating on your own. Since we are getting closer this time of year to the holidays, we are filming end of August. We're going to search Halloween party invitations. So you can see like all of these are shoppable, which is great. And they're coming directly from Etsy. You can see how people are putting their invitations on here. This is a pin that was created, which I really like it. Actually, it's a good pin. It's got the photo here. It's got somebody looking at it, the lifestyle right here, and then your text here. If you're going to have these types of pins, this is a really good way to do it. And it's super easy to do. All it is, I'm going to show you actually right now. I was not planning on doing this, but I'm going to show you how you can recreate that type of a pin super easy. I'm just going to it's going to be a longer pin. So we're going to do 1000 by 2000 because that one was a longer pin. And it's okay to do. You should keep it 2 by 3 to be in Pinterest best practices, but I've never had any issue with the 1000 by 2000 size. I've tried multiple different ones. All you do to create a pin like that is you're going to take these grids here in Canva, pop it in there, and you're going to grab a square, put it here with hopefully a better color than that. I'm going to do like a pink color here. And then you can do something like this. Let's bring it down a little so it shows into the frame. Up your text in there, and that's a pin for you. So see, that was not hard. It took me just a couple minutes. I use the photos that I use from my Etsy store right here on the pin, and you're all set. So it shouldn't be too difficult to do that. The next thing I want to make sure to show you is how to share your listing on Etsy directly from the shop, but without getting caught in the spam filter. So you're just go ahead and share like you normally would with your share and save link on your Pinterest. Okay. So you can go ahead and hit your Pinterest. I'm going to save this, save it here, and done. Okay. What I don't want you to do is go, "Oh, I'm saving all of my products. I'm going to go through here and I'm going to just click share, click share, click share, click share all the way through all my whole catalog." If you do that, your account will get shut down for spam. So I don't want to see you doing that. It happened to me once when I first started an account and I wasn't doing anything crazy. I was just trying to get all of my products on Pinterest. And all of a sudden, my account was shut down and it sucked, honestly. I was freaking out. I responded to the Pinterest email, let them know, hey, I probably pinned too many products at once. They were all from my store, they're all my products. I won't pin that much again. And they did reinstate me within a couple of days. But that doesn't always happen. Sometimes they just keep you shut down forever. And I don't want that to happen to anybody. So that's why I always caution people to do this. Another way to pin from anywhere, really, is to make sure that you have the Pinterest Chrome extension here. You can just Google it, Pinterest Chrome extension, you'll have it. And then you're going to go into Etsy. You can take your pin here. If you pin right here, which I always almost do, but you really shouldn't, comes back with just this link, not the correct link for your product. So you need to go into the listing and you can click save here. And then you can go ahead and put it on your board and you saved it. I do like the other way better because you have your share and save link. That's another way you can do it. So I would always use the link whenever possible. So using these buttons is probably your better option. Regardless, I would not do more than about 5 per day just to be on the safe side. You may be able to get away with more, but I don't want you to get shut down for spam. So I would say your top limit 5 a day. If you have a brand new account, maybe 3 until Pinterest gets used to you and knows that you're not a spammer. There's a lot of people that go onto Pinterest and like to spam the platform. So their spam filters sometimes get a little bit overzealous. So we just need to be careful. Lastly, we're going to talk about how you're going to get your products to be searchable on Pinterest. And I want to show you exactly how I do it. I'm going to show you good examples and bad examples. I have quite a few products on here, and they were not all originally optimized for Pinterest. Okay. So this one I have re optimized. All right. It's got the keywords that can be searched for in Pinterest, such as the printable invitation, Halloween, invite. We've got a bunch of different, I don't remember all of the keywords I was going after for this, but we've got a bunch of different keywords throughout my description. Now, it makes sense for Etsy. So we're not hurting anything for Etsy. And it makes sense for Pinterest. And it gives us a really good description for our products. So when you're doing that, make sure that you research on Pinterest some of the searchable terms and then go in and make sure that your Etsy product description is updated accordingly. Make sure it's got a few of those words in there because this description is what's going to be pulled into Pinterest. It's going to overwrite anything you put in there. So we want to make sure it is optimized. And that's for any store, not just Etsy. If you have a Shopify store, WooCommerce, you're on Squarespace, whatever, if you have products, it's going to pull in those descriptions. So make sure your descriptions are optimized. If they're already optimized for Google, and I hope that they are, but if they are not, make sure that they are. If they're already optimized for Google, you are probably fine on Pinterest. So I wouldn't stress out about that because a lot of the same terms people are Googling, they're also putting into Pinterest. So personally, if I'm optimized for Google, I am not going to worry about being optimized for Pinterest. So here we go. Here is a Etsy product pin, and you can see that it pulled in the product details from that Etsy listing. I know some people don't like the way it looks, but all of them are like that, so don't stress out about it. You can see title and description pulled in, and now we can visit her site, and it goes right to the listing. All right, so now I want to show you some of my older descriptions. Shouldn't be hard to find because I haven't been in the store in a while. I've been focusing on some other things and I know I need to because I have a lot of very relevant products. So let's hop into this one. Now, see, I wonder why this one wasn't as searchable. I don't have this description optimized at all. So it needs to be redone. Now, here's something you can do. And this is just a little bonus tip. So I take these descriptions. I don't have all day. I leverage ChatGPT. Some people love that. Some people don't. Use it whenever I can. If you are like me and you have a previous not very good description in your Etsy description, I will request that ChatGPT, I just say, please rewrite this product description in a way that will draw attention and make people want to buy, showing features and benefits. Using the following keywords: Halloween welcome sign, skeleton Halloween sign, Halloween party sign. So whatever tags you're going after, whatever searchable keywords you will find over here in your Pinterest search, then you would add in here. And then I just put my old description because it's got the try before you buy, it's got the sizes, all of that fun stuff. If you don't have a description already, you can just tell them what it is, sizes, anything you need them to know, and then ask ChatGPT to write the product description. Now we've got a much better description. Now, if you don't like everything in it, go ahead and alter it however you want. But for now, I am just going to go ahead and pop it in here as my product description. Didn't pull in the try before you buy. That's fine. We're just going to leave it. And here we go. Much better than it was, if you ask me. You can add any emojis or anything that you want to make it stand out. But now we have a much better description that will pull into Pinterest. Now, don't worry. If you already have these products on Pinterest, you're like, oh no, the description's terrible, it will pull in your current description. It may take a few days, but it will get that updated description in there. So don't stress. You're going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I showed you technically how to get all those onto Pinterest. What I want you to do is remember that Pinterest is a visual search engine. So your product photos are king. They need to be high quality. So of all the things to really pay attention to, make sure that you have really good visuals for your pins. And then get those Pinterest pins onto Pinterest consistently. Pinterest likes consistency. So if you pin a ton on your account and then ghost the account for a really long time, you're going to see a hit in your impressions. What you want to do is to make sure you're pinning at a cadence that you can pin at. Now, on the example, I showed 1 pin a day. If your cadence that you can truly pin at is a couple times a week, then just do that. That is okay. You can do that, especially since you're going to be getting those product pins from Etsy directly onto Pinterest. Those don't take you any time at all. Just make sure you're keeping those at like 5 a day. The next thing I want to talk about is group boards. So I have been preaching for a long time. Group boards are out. It's not really a thing. And the way group boards used to be done, it's still, that's the case. They're not a thing to just randomly post stuff. What I would like to see people do occasionally, if it makes sense for your niche, is to collaborate with other creators that have adjacent niches or things that are similar to what you're doing, but it's not what you're doing. And you can create a board for collaboration there. Those kind of boards really are helpful to the pinner, which is what we want to do, right? That's why we're on Pinterest, is to be helpful to the pinner. And it's a great way to get your pins out to a bigger audience. So that is something to keep in mind as far as getting your Pinterest account up and running. If you haven't opened your Pinterest account yet, you need to make sure you open a business account. If you need to learn how to get a Pinterest account set up, go ahead and click the link below. I do have a guide on how to do that. If you're ready to start taking your Pinterest strategy to the next level, I do have a coaching offer available right now. It is one-on-one full Voxer support. You get Zoom calls, and we're going to build a strategy for you that you learn to implement yourself. So this isn't a situation where I do it all for you. I am teaching you all my best hacks, all my best tips, and we're going to build your marketing strategy together. If that is something that interests you, click the link below. It will send you to my application. It's basically just a couple little questions for you to fill out, and then we'll have a quick call and decide if that program is something that's good for you specifically or not. Now, this is all built around your specific needs, so we can talk about Pinterest marketing strategy, blogging, digital product creation, email marketing, whatever you need, we can chat about. Click the link in my description if that's something that interests you. So that's it for today, and I hope to see you next week when we're going to be talking all about how to schedule with the newest scheduler, Metricool. Talk soon. Bye-bye.